This is an excerpt from an article from mysteriousuniverse.org entitled Scary Real Curses Surrounding the Scariest Movies by Brent Swanser. Widely lauded as one of the scariest movies ever made, William Friedkin's The Exorcist has become one of the most beloved and well-known horror films of all time, influencing popular culture and the horror genre ever since its release. Based on the novel of the same name by William Peter Blatty and released in 1973, The Exorcist perhaps needs no introduction, but for those of you who have been living under a rock for the past few decades, it follows two priests as they battle to free an innocent young girl from a harrowing possession by evil demonic forces. Besides being a masterclass in horror filmmaking and having far-reaching influences on the genre, spawning countless sequels, spinoffs, and imitators, to the point that it was selected in 2010 by the Library of Congress to be preserved as a work that is, quote, culturally, historically, or aesthetically significant, end quote. The Exorcist also has the distinction of having one of Hollywood's most famous alleged evil curses hanging over it. Indeed, it seems that behind the scenes of The Exorcist was at times just as frightening as anything happening on the screen, with a long list of bad luck, mishaps, freak occurrences, and deaths associated with the movie. With this particular purported curse, there are so many weird things surrounding it that it is hard to even know where to start. Production was beset by numerous setbacks since before filming even began. Director after director, including such notables as Stanley Kubrick and Arthur Penn, all inexplicably turned the film down, and when one was finally found, the troubles were only just beginning. On-location filming for the scenes set in Iraq met with harsh heat and sickness that ran rampant among cast and crew, which delayed production considerably. During filming, there was also an inordinate number of inexplicable on-set fires that seemed to spring up out of nowhere for no discernible reason, including one which burnt down the entire set of the house portrayed in the movie, which bizarrely left only the room of Reagan's bedroom, where the possession scenes are mostly filmed, untouched. There were other accidents on set as well. Actress Ellen Bernstein suffered a permanent back injury in a scene in which her character struggles with the possessed Regan, and the actress who played Regan herself, Linda Blair, also received a back injury when the harness meant to make her maniacally flail around malfunctioned. In yet another freak accident, the young son of one of the actors was hit by a motorbike on set and had to be hospitalized. Indeed, these accidents got so numerous that there were several actual exorcisms performed while filming, due to the ever widespread belief among cast and crew that the production was actually cursed and that maybe something did not want the film to be made. In addition to the various freak accidents and mishaps on set, there were also the mysterious deaths that surrounded the production. One of the most well-publicized of these was the death of actor Jack McGowran, who played the director Burke Dennings in the film and died of influenza shortly after filming wrapped up. In fact, two of the actors who played two characters who die in the film also died in real life shortly after the movie was completed, as well as actress Vasiliki Malayaros. In total, 9 cast and crew associated with the production would die during and just after filming. Other weird deaths were relatives of cast and crew who were working on the film, including actor Max von Sydow's brother and the grandfather of actress Linda Blair, who played the possessed child in the film. The troubles and bizarre events plaguing The Exorcist would not stop even after it was released. At the film's premiere at the Metropolitan Theater in Rome, the weather turned out to be rather terrible, with torrential rain and lightning making everyone in attendance miserable. Shortly after the guests had filed into the theater, a bolt of lightning struck one of the two 16th century churches that stood nearby, dislodging an 8-foot-long giant cross which then crashed into the plaza right in front of the theater with a thunderous boom that sent the moviegoers into a panic. When the film was officially widely released into theaters, there were immediate repercussions, as a flood of complaints started coming in of people feeling dizzy or nauseous during screenings, fainting, having seizures, or experiencing potent panic attacks. One woman, who was so disturbed by the film's scary imagery that she decided to leave the theater, tripped on her way out and fell down to break her jaw. Indeed, the movie was blamed for a slew of suicides throughout the 1970s, with some suggesting that this was either due to the gruesome imagery of the movie being too much to handle for some people, or attributing it to the notorious curse supposedly surrounding the production. The famous evangelist Billy Graham was so convinced that the film was cursed that he went as far as to suggest that the celluloid itself was somehow imbued and saturated associated with the power of evil and the devil. In addition to all of this was the profound mental breakdown of actress Linda Blair in the years after the film's release. The once promising child star went on to be arrested on drug charges in 1977, and often ranted about how disturbing the whole production had been for her and others involved, to the point where she escaped acting, became a recluse, faded into obscurity, and vowed to never have children. Years later, the series would accrue even more creepiness when it was found that the American serial killer Jeffrey Dahmer was obsessed with the Exorcist films, in particular The Exorcist 3, which he allegedly would incessantly watch over and over again before killing his victims. Indeed, the supposed curse of The Exorcist is so bizarre and covers so many strange occurrences that there was a whole 2-hour documentary devoted to it. Were these all just spooky coincidences, or was there some genuine demonic force operating in the background here? Whatever the answer may be, it certainly makes an already chilling movie that much scarier.